We don't do it for fame or profit. We do it because that's what we love to do. It gets in our blood. That's what we do. That's what we love. This is our life.
Since Crash Course is anything but your typical show, it'll require anything but a typical helicopter pilot. And Bill Huska is anything but typical. That's because he didn't exactly have a typical childhood.
Basically teethed on the helicopters growing up. I was 5 months old for my first ride. On the weekends, I didn't have friends come over to sleep over at my house. I had friends that come out to the airport with me and hang out for the helicopters.
Bill and his brother Greg spent all their free time watching their dad, Bill Sr., work on and fly choppers.
KSD helicopter pilot Bill Huska Sr. flew in traffic reporter Don Miller with the game ball and American flag from Old Sportsman's Park.
He was actually the first person to fly and report from a helicopter in St. Louis's history.
Bill Sr. always taught his sons to respect a helicopter's power. In 1966, a crash into the Mississippi River demonstrated exactly that and came with a hefty price tag.
That particular helicopter cost $36,000.
And at 12 years old, Bill experienced firsthand what happens when danger takes center stage.
We were getting ready to go give rides at a state fair. You know, it's going to be a fun day. My brother and I were on board. No less than 30 seconds into the flight, we had an engine problem. Came back down to the ground. Pieces flew. We smacked the ground hard. Tail boom flew off, flew over us. Pilot says, "Hey, everybody get out, get out, get out. Might catch on fire." I started running up the side of the ditch away from the helicopter back toward where my parents were, and the rotor system was still turning. I got to the top of the ditch, and I don't know what was looking out for me or watching out for my better interests that day, but I tripped face first into the ground. The blade went right over the top of me. Later on did I know that, the blade missed me by about an inch.
While brother Greg is now an air ambulance pilot,
Oh!
Bill mans a chopper in the St. Louis skies, just like his dad.
It's an honor being named after my father.
And the late Bill Sr. would be the one feeling honored if he was watching Junior's work on June 24th, 2005.
I'm seeing tanks that are literally fireballs.
Bill had a bird's eye view that day when an explosion tore through an industrial gas distributor in downtown St. Louis.
And it was just an amazing story, and just to be a part of it and be able to report it to St. Louis, to the hometown that I grew up.
His continuous live coverage earned him an Emmy and even worldwide exposure, letting everyone see how he stays cool under and over fire.
That was probably the best feeling I got from anything I ever did in the helicopter.
With over 20 years of piloting experience under his belt, everything is now starting to come full circle for this pilot and dad.
And I have a 8-year-old son who's named the third. And his first ride was when he was 15 days old. So I'm not setting him up for a pilot job, am I?
Since flying a chopper comes second nature to Bill, Crash Course will up the ante and truly test Bill's piloting skills. This show will throw Bill into the most exotic locations and jobs where choppers are utilized. After a quick crash course on what these professionals do, it'll be Bill's turn.
My entire life of being around helicopters can bring me to a point where I can go and try to fit in with these guys that are at the top of their game in these different industries and see if I can even sit at the same table.
These challenges will define the expression "on a wing and a prayer," because if Bill doesn't bring his A game, you'll see why we call this Crash Course.
Talk to any pilot you know. We're all the best pilot we can, You want to know who the best pilot is? I'll tell you. Me?